Okay, hello students, how you doing? Thanks for coming online to do your very first online homework assignment. This is a reminder that while you watch this video, you're going to want to fill in your notes right down here. Take notes on assignment 9. And also, you can scroll up and down while the video plays or pause it and answer the questions that are above and below this video. When the video is all done, submit your answers, see your score. You get 2 submissions. You can submit again if you want to try to get a better score, and then complete study guide 1.2 that we already did a lot of it in class. Cool. Okay, so today's notes are on how to change the Constitution, and when we change the Constitution formally, we call that making an amendment to the Constitution. There has been 27 amendments or changes to the Constitution over time. Our founding fathers saw the Constitution as a framework with the details to be filled in later. So one of the ways that we're going to look at how the Constitution changes is informally. So this is not amendments. This is more informal. All right. Due to it, the founding fathers made it really difficult to formally change the Constitution. It's really, really, really hard to pass an amendment. Maybe too hard. It's been like 30 or 40 years since we passed an amendment to the Constitution. So we had to develop some informal ways to change the Constitution. And you can change the Constitution by laws, like acts of Congress. I mean, you're sort of changing the Constitution. Like I talked a little bit about this law the other day. It's the one that kind of set up our court system. Remember I said the Constitution didn't talk much about the Supreme Court, and it said like we'll fill in the details later. This is the law that filled in the details later. So acts of Congress can informally change the Constitution. Do you know the difference between informal and formal? Formally is like to dress formal is to wear a tuxedo or something. Informally is to wear, sweatpants and a t-shirt. So this is the sweatpants and a t-shirt way to change the Constitution. Another way is through judicial rulings, like, for instance, with Plessy v. Ferguson. That was the case where there was a African-American guy who tried to go on the white train car and he got kicked off and he sued and he lost. They said that separate but equal was okay. And then that decision was reversed with Brown v. Boards. And they said, no, separate but equal is not okay. So that's changing the Constitution with judicial rulings, okay? Informally changing the Constitution with judicial rulings. Another is through presidential actions. Things that the president does are ways of informally changing the Constitution. And then just regular old customs and traditions like the party system and committee system and the cabinet and things that they do. Those are ways that we informally change. One of the funny things about the guys that wrote the Constitution, like Thomas Jefferson, is some of them believed that the Constitution would not last that long and that there's no way, that it was going to be that good for like 200 or 300 years like it has been. And instead they felt like almost every new generation might need a brand new Constitution. So I think that says a lot if the author of it anticipates that it might only last 50 years or something. Obviously, we have not written a new Constitution, and we've kept the same Constitution, and we've just made small changes to it over time. Informal changes and formal changes. So, and it's through the ability to have these informal changes that has allowed the Constitution to adapt and change over time, and the responsibilities of the federal government to adapt and change over time as the country grows and changes. Okay, when they had the Articles of Confederation, if they wanted to change the Articles, you had to have states vote, like all 13 states, and then they had to vote unanimously. That means all 13 states had to agree if they were going to change the Constitution. I think we learned from that experience that that's really impractical. And then you can write this down, but I don't care too much. I'm not going to talk too much about that stuff right there. Okay. So we learned our lesson that we shouldn't make the vote unanimous. Okay, so this is the system for how to formally change the Constitution. Maybe go to the side of your paper and write down, this is formally changing the Constitution. So basically, someone comes up with an idea for an amendment. Let's say an amendment is to let's say an amendment is to ban assault rifles, and like automatic and semi-automatic weapons, to ban them. So Congress holds a vote on the amendment, and they have to get a really high number. They have to get a 2/3 vote from both houses in order for it to move on. The president plays no role in the amendment process. So, Trump would play no role today. Then the measure is going to go to the states, and the way that this slide is set up is kind of weird. So the measure is then going to go to the states, and 3/4 of states would have to agree to the amendment in order for it to become an official amendment. You can imagine that's really hard. So 67% of Congress and 75% of the states, so that's 38 states, would have to agree to make this amendment. There is another way, so this is all about where the amendment would start. So number one is one way that it could start. Another way is that it could start in the states at these constitutional conventions, but we don't really know what that looks like. See how it says it's never been used before? So this way is not really a way that America has done. Pretty much all the amendments, 100% of the amendments, have been started this way up here. I'll circle it in a different color. Pretty much all the amendments in America have been started in this way. So I actually think that this slide, this image, does a better job explaining how the amendment process works. I kind of think it would be, I'm not going to recommend, I'm going to tell you, I want you to turn your paper over to the blank side, and I want you to kind of copy this. You don't have to draw the pictures, but I want you to make it into kind of a flow chart on your paper. Let's do a bright color right here. So proposal, this is where an amendment can start, okay? It can start in one of two places, right here or right here. Let's see, can we get brighter? Okay, so make a box on your paper right here. Inside one box, it can start like this, with 2/3 of Congress voting to make a change. All right, or it can start right here with 2/3 of states voting to make a change. From there, it can go here, or it can go here. All right, and from here over on this one, remember this has never been done before. It can go here, or it can go here. So this is like, it's got to start up here, and then it's got to move down there. The most common way that it's been done before is right here. And if you remember this method right here, you'll be good. So it starts in Congress with 2/3 of members of both houses voting yes on this amendment. Then it goes to state legislatures, and 3/4 of them vote yes. For our 17 amendments that have come after the Bill of Rights, 16 of them have been done in this way. Okay, you don't really need to worry about the other methods. If you can remember this way, then you're good. This is a sort of better graphic, maybe better graphic than the one you saw and you drew on the back of your paper. If you like this better, maybe this will give you a good idea of how the Constitution is formally amended. Starts in Congress, it can go here, it can go there, or it starts in states, it can go here, it can go there, but almost always, let me give it a different color here. Almost always it's been done in this way right here. So this slide just explains the bottom of that flowchart that I was just drawing. And as I said, this is the way that it's been done almost all the time. Okay, you need 38 states to vote yes. The only amendment that wasn't done this way was the one that brought back drinking. It was the one that brought back drinking was done this way. Cool. Okay, let's do your summary. This is just you guessing. What do you think the 28th Amendment will look like? What do you think what topic will it address? Okay, I'll see you in class. Peace. Don't forget to do your study guide.